Bless you. May be seated. Bishop Gatlin, were you talking about me? You introduced me. You didn't mean for me to preach. God bless you. What a privilege we have to be part of the greatest church on the face of the earth. God bless you. It doesn't matter what anybody says, this is the church. The church of God in Christ. Come on, say the church of God in Christ. And they taught us in this auxiliary, you cannot join in. You've got to be born in the church of God in Christ. I've been a member of this church, will be 83 years, and God has blessed me. Yeah. All right. What a privilege to introduce a son appropriately. What a privilege to introduce a son that truthfully has never given his mother and I not 1 minute of trouble. You heard me before. I think fathers and I think parents should be able to do something for their children. I think we got it backwards. We ought to turn it around. If I worked 55 years, I ought to be able to do more than a fellow only worked 20 years. Am I right, somebody? And so this individual I'm about to introduce and present, I've had the occasion to lend him some money. And, it's very seldom that a son who has a good relationship with his daddy will pay back any debt. If they just won't pay back, they say, oh, Dad, come on. Yeah. Am I right? God bless you. But this young man stayed at home with his mother and I told him, when you leave here, you go to your own house. And he wasn't required to pay rent with his mother and I. He stayed there. He could go in the Frigidaire. And when he got ready, he stayed out, disturbed his mother a little time, but I told you, act like you don't remember that you stayed out with me late too. It's just the way it goes. Come on, say, it's all good. Yeah, God bless you. As a result of staying out late and not as late, I've been able to seal it off staying out. I've been married to one lady, the same lady for 62 years and 1 month. Yeah. So, never had any trouble with Drew. I carried him with me on my job before times are as bad as they are now. And I told him, you crack the window. I said, you stay right here, don't move till I get back. He was right there. Created some kind of little old game of his own right in the back. Never had any trouble. Took him to Sunday school. However, I carried a switch up my sleeve. And he said he had to go. I'm not going to tell it all, Drew. And he said he had to be excused. That's normal, isn't it? But don't jive me. But you have no need to be excused now. So I bring that switch out. You sure you want to be excused? Yeah. But he's been a faithful, nice young man. Bought him a little old car. He treated it nice. Kept it clean. Bought him another car. He kept it nice. He drove my cars. And so I'm proud to say he stayed at home. He went to school. Bishop Forrest, I don't know how many degrees. I know how many he got. He got several degrees he earned from the university. I mean, he sat in the seats and he took the exams. And he y'all hear me? I'm not talking about take-home exams. I'm talking about the one you sit in your seat, and the professor turned the clock on and say you got 27 minutes. Those are the kind of degrees he's got. He got a master's in mathematics. He got a bachelor's in education. He taught school. They want him back in the classroom now, just like we want him in the Church of God in Christ. All right. He's always been kind and respectful. What a privilege. I was the first one he told that he was called to preach. And of course, he acted like a minister and a gentleman ever since. He married this beautiful young lady right from our house, and Drew never paid a nickel rent. So he got a jump on the average Joe already. So don't let anybody fool you. You got the right one in place. And what a privilege to introduce John Drew Sheard. He's a pastor of one of the largest churches in the brotherhood. Yeah. The lady told me something the other day. I take it and parallel it with myself. She said, now you can say what you want to say about Bishop Sheard. She was talking about me. She said, you can say what you want to say. You ain't found nobody can help out-preach Bishop Sheard. And I say that, I move it right on over. You can say what you want to say about Bishop John Drew Sheard. Can't nobody out-preach him. God bless you. My privilege to introduce this gospel preacher for real. Pray for him. We need about another 150 men just like Bishop John Drew. Yeah. Wonderful jurisdiction in Michigan. You got the cream of the crop with Wise, Karen, Clark, Sheard. Yeah. God bless you. I'm going to take my seat while we listen to the bishop, North Central Michigan, the pastor of the Great Emmanuel Institution, the Church of God in Christ, the husband of one wife, only 2 children in the world. And he's a fine fella. I ought to know I brought him from the hospital. All right. Come on, say, God bless our bishop.